I want to help you. I do. But I gotta understand.
Come with me if you want to live.
I know what's going on here has to be really, really complicated.
We're here to stop the end of the world.
I can work with that.
It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. There's a storm coming. It won't be stopped.
I'll be back.
What? Load up.
I've been waiting for you.
To LA to interview the cast of the upcoming movie Terminator Genisys, and one of my main goals was to get Arnold Schwarzenegger to say, "Hasta la vista, baby." Okay guys, so congratulations, Terminator is back. That's gotta feel good.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it does.
I've been waiting for you.
It was a real honor to be asked back again. And I was very fortunate that when I read the script that I was really excited about it and thought it was a brilliant script, well written, and then to be surrounded by great actors like that, I'm all smiles today.
Come with me if you want to live.
So how fun has it been on set filming this?
It was awesome. It's tough, you know. It was
Yeah.
it is fun, but it's not all fun and games. You know, this sort of film, the material we're dealing with, it's smart. You know, you've got to be sensitive toward that.
What you're doing right now, this is the end of the war.
A lot of pressure, I'm sure.
Yeah, actually there is, yeah.
Perform and
Yep, to
you
get
got
it
only
right.
a couple takes.
To get it in a couple of takes, yeah, particularly the big set pieces.
I remember that one actually when we were out there, and I missed my mark by about 6 feet. Jason and I had to run about the length of a football field, and yeah, no one was happy with me because it was about a 3-hour reset for the show.
3-hour reset. And it was a big one, you know, that was us running with things exploding, with fireworks behind us. It was a massive shot. And we had to run 300-400 meters in the dark with lights to a little chalk mark about that far.
Yeah.
Run! What has been the biggest change from the first Terminator to this one for you?
Well, a lot of things have changed visual effects wise because now you can do things that you couldn't have done then. Like for instance in this movie, I'm fighting myself. I'm fighting the Terminator from 1984, so you have to recreate that body, that Terminator, everything about it, frame by frame. Just think about it. You would not have been able to do that 30 years ago. The shots of them time traveling and all this that you could not have done then. In a way, you literally see a person, you know, nude in front of you, and then all of a sudden disappear, and then, you know, cut, and you see them, you know, appear, you know, 20 years later at a certain place. I mean, there's things like that that are mind-blowing, the things you can do, but it is tedious work.
I mean, I can't wait to see the film.
I'll be back.
What?
I want to help you. I do. But I gotta understand.
Come with me if you want to live.
I know what's going on here has to be really, really complicated.
We're here to stop the end of the world.
I can work with that.
It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. There's a storm coming. It won't be stopped.
I'll be back.
What? Load up.
I've been waiting for you. I'll be back.
When you coin the most quoted catchphrase in movie history, you absolutely bring it back for the 5th movie.
I'll be back, and I'll be back. I'll be back.
I didn't want to ask you to say the line because I'm sure you've been asked about 1,000 times, but you've just said it
Isn't
now about
unbelievable?
38 times.
Because of that, he didn't want to ask that. It's unbelievable. What an interview.
31 years after the first Terminator, Arnie is back.
I've been waiting for you.
Second one was the best, Arnold? Do we agree on that?
I really can't say that. I mean, I think that the three that I was in, they all three had their own little personalities and kind of interesting storylines.
You didn't do the fourth?
Thank God.
Why was it bad?
It sucked.
Arnie was on an acting hiatus at the time, playing the Governator of California for real life.
I really had a great 7 years, but it was very clear to me when that job is over, I will go back and do what I did before.
Terminating. In this movie, far as I can tell, he's sent back in time to before the first installment.
Sarah Connor.
Yes.
This is the beauty about a film that involves time travel, is you can actually go back and change the entire
History of
premise.
events, yeah.
You can, so long as you have, you know, rules that make sense and that you stay within those rules.
Emilia Clarke of Game of Thrones fame plays a badass Sarah Connor.
Come with me if you want to live.
Is this your first big movie?
Yeah, it is.
Game of Thrones,
Game of Thrones.
obviously.
Yes.
And then this.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the onslaught, for the life change that this is going to bring you?
I believe I am.
Yeah?
Yeah, Game of Thrones was a good introduction into this kind of scale of movie.
And this kind of rabid fan base, perhaps. As well.
Yeah, it's a fan base I'm familiar with.
Jason Clarke is John Connor.
Mankind dies with us.
Jai Courtney, Kyle Reese. Why two Australians?
Why not? Sorry.
Popular with the ladies.
I mean, there were no complaints, obviously.
Is there something going on between the two?
That just says it all.
Some-
Maybe the three of us.
Something going on
Oh,
all over
three?
the place.
Maybe the four of us.
We had a
Yes.
happy family. It was good.
Why not?
That's dangerous ground, Arnie. Dangerous ground. Listen, I love Terminator, and from what they showed me, this has the same...
The most interesting characters to ever grace the big screen, the Terminator Cyborg has come a long way since its first model shown in the 1984 film. Even though the first seen and most famous Terminator, the T-101 model, first graced the screen in 1984, the original Terminator was in fact built in the early 21st century. The T-1 models were first seen in the third film of the franchise. They were battle robots used by the US military that became self-aware when Skynet is switched on. While less advanced than the T-101 model, this model is still extremely dangerous as it is the ancestor to all future Terminator models. The next Terminator model seen in the film series is the T-101, also known as the T-800. The franchise, however, has introduced several other models to explain the gap between the well-known Terminator and its earliest ancestor. The T-600 model appears in the TV series Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles. Despite some models of the T-600 being covered in a skin of rubber, they were much easier to spot than the newer T-800 model, which was, in fact, covered with living human tissue, making it look identical to other humans. The tissue that surrounds the cyborg allows it to even sweat and bleed. However, it still does not feel pain, as the flesh is simply a cover for the Terminator's powerful endoskeleton, run by a series of hydraulic servo mechanisms. This endoskeleton gives the model superhuman strength and has also proven nearly indestructible to 20th century weapons. The T-800 is so advanced, its central processing unit even gives it the ability to learn after it has been in contact with humans.
I know now why you cry.
As impressive as the T-800 model seems, it is relatively outdated compared to the T-1000 featured in Terminator 2. This time sent back to eliminate the threat of John Connor and the Resistance, the T-1000, still with all the features of its predecessor, was built with a mimetic polyalloy, which allowed it to emulate anything it touched perfectly. This polyalloy also gives the T-1000 the ability to reform itself in seconds, even after substantial damage. Along with these significant upgrades, the T-1000 has an improved repertoire of human emotion, which allows it to blend in even better with humans. A composite between the T-800 and the T-1000, the T-X was actually a solid endoskeleton coated with the mimetic polyalloy. Because of previous models' inability to travel back in time with weapons, the T-X was actually built with internal weapons, making it much more dangerous than the previous models that could only fight hand-to-hand and with 20th century weapons. This new model is even capable of controlling other machines, including other Terminators, as it does in Terminator 3. Despite these being the main Terminator models featured throughout the first 3 films of the series, other models have been introduced in novels as well as in the television series.
Come with me if you want to live.
This shows just how much potential these fictional cyborgs have for plot lines. In Terminator Salvation, director Mick G even goes back to tell the story of how the T-800 was first created.
They are replicating human tissue for the T-800. If we let those things go online, then this war is over.
It can't be reasoned with. There's a storm coming. It won't be stopped.
I'll be back.
What? Load up.
I've been waiting for you.
I know what's going on here has to be really, really complicated.
We're here to stop the end of the world.
I can work with that.
It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. There's a storm coming. It won't be stopped.
I'll be back.
What? Load up.
Take this. No, grab it. So, can we take that one machine towards me?
Exactly. That's what I said to so many people. When I was
Peek around, peek around. One, action! They start to turn.
Go! And let her down.
What was that?
She doesn't talk, but you need a start. Where'd you get that jacket?
The other guy didn't need it.
Oh? You see that red? It stands for blood. It's a symbol of the resistance, and you're obviously not a resistance fighter, so take it off.
Take it off!
Got it? Keeps. Well,
not he. Blair, it was the only one left to be naive.
It saved my life, John.
Not he, Blair, it was the only one left to be naive.
It saved my life, John. Can I do this a second?
It's never going to come online. You'll be briefed on a need-to-know basis.
That's the sentence of our own. Asking. No, I know, but it's just a moment where you're locked in Japan and yeah, but you got to get out Marcus, because that's going to earn.
Yeah, Marcus. Boom. You want that?
Yeah.
What we did in the rehearsal?
Yeah, that's good, because no matter what, I just want to get here, fat beats, and then.
You can let me down now, Marcus.
Okay.
You get that one shot of her coming out with the shotgun, the little girl with the shotgun, and then I take it from her and point it at her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Watch this. He starts firing. And you see him in the background. One more time on that, and then the shot doesn't play at the time.
Look at the glass raining and the backlight.
That's the shot.
You guys will understand the scraper's coming through on this, all right? Thank you. All the photographers over here, are you aware of the big scraper that's coming down?
Chantal, the one and only?
Yes. Specifically from...
Good.
Follow me. Fishing, man. Look for him. Fishing, okay. Stand by. Fishing. Corner. Bang! Fish around, look for him.
Okay!
Action!
Run! We are using the most edge-of-the-art visual effects technology that exists.
Wow, I'm a Terminator in a Terminator movie.
She'll be back.
Terminator is like the perfect role for me.
Yes, John Connor.
I know what I need to do in order to make the Terminator character shine.
The worldwide audience embraced this character. They just love the Terminator.
Get down!
Arnold as a Terminator 1, he actually was a real bad guy. Terminator 2, he is a protector. He comes to protect John Connor.
You here to kill me? No. You must live.
Terminator comes back in order to stop a female Terminator who has been also sent back to help with the rise of the machines.
TX is faster, more powerful, and more intelligent. It's a far more effective killing machine.
Oh, great. She's deadly, she's dangerous, and you have no idea what she's capable of doing next.
TX is here to make sure that what's supposed to happen in the future does happen.
John, what is he saying?
Judgment Day. The end of the world. It's today, 3 hours from now.
2 hours and 53 minutes. Get out of here! Now!
The only way that the rise of the machines in the future can continue the way the machines have planned it is by eliminating John Connor.
It's 10 years later and he's grown up. He feels like he stopped Judgment Day, but at the same time, something in the back of his head is telling him not to drop his guard. I should feel safe, but I don't.
Here's a character who's never really had a father. The only father figure who's ever even experienced in his life is a robot.
Do you even remember me? Blowing up Cyberdyne? Hasta la vista, baby?
That was a different T-101.
What, do you guys come off an assembly line or something?
Exactly.
She finds John Connor in her veterinary clinic. She assumes that he is some vagabond, and soon after that, she's kidnapped.
To have a character who's an outsider to the whole thing, who's experiencing it for the first time, really gives the audience that necessary perspective.
Tell her who I am.
John Connor is leader of the worldwide resistance and last best hope of humankind.
Go to hell. It's like I'm penetrating the screen, you know, this story that I've been raised with is suddenly now a real part of my life.
I swear I will, I'll shoot you!
Go ahead, see what happens.
Members to help them to get through this and to get them to safety.
We need a new vehicle.
I don't know if I will be able to be starstruck ever again, you know, because it just doesn't get any bigger than Arnold Schwarzenegger. It really doesn't.
Good take. I love it. No sign of brain trauma.
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks.
There's something about, I think, the character of the Terminator that gives you the license to break the tension of really suspenseful scenes with something really comedic, and yet you go back into the suspense.
I'll drive.
He's a guy who really focused on his work, but at the same time likes to have fun.
Are you talking to me?
He definitely has a good sense of humor.
All right, now into the series.
John Connor was here. Where did he go? The great thing about TX is that, unlike the past Terminators, she's a female, so she can use her femininity and certain attributes to achieve her goals.
Lady, have you any idea how fast you were going?
I like your gun.
It's really wild to see a villain that looks that good.
Kristana has done a wonderful job. She has a fascinating look and feel about her that just makes her out of this world.
Her movements were perfect. She made the movements that were not humanly possible. She was very flexible, and she understood martial arts, and at the same time she kept her face totally straight without showing any effort, which was key to the character.
I like getting right in there and doing whatever it takes to make it look as great as it possibly can.
been a huge fan of both movies from the time I was young. I was chomping at the bit to get a piece of it.
Nick Stahl is perfect for that character. I think that he did an incredible job.
Very nice. Okay.
It's difficult to find somebody who is 22, 23 years old and yet feels like, in some sense, they're carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders.
There's enough C4 here to take out 10 supercomputers. We're gonna make it, Kate.
I always feel safe when he's on screen with me.
What? Nothing. It's just, you remind me of my mother.
I was so happy to play someone who's as resourceful and self-reliant and clever as she is.
Let's go, John!
Claire Danes was a feisty girl and terrific actress. So it was really fun working with her because it's very tough, especially for women that come in from movies that have never had any physical contact, and then they come in and all of a sudden they do the stunts and do all of this kind of crazy stuff.
Relax.
It took me about a month to finally sort of accept and believe that I was making an action movie.
And action!
It was very important when we chose a new director to find somebody that feels comfortable doing visual effects, comfortable with the big stunts and setting up huge scenes with a movie that is of epic proportions.
And cut. Perfect. Great.
He wants to stay true to the tone of the other films, but at the same time he's making his own movie.
I just focused on telling a story that I, as a moviegoer and as a fan of the Terminator franchise, would want to see.
Jonathan's created a really wonderful atmosphere on the set. It's surprisingly calm and relaxed.
That's pretty much the reaction, I would say, of every person that runs across the Terminator when they see him.
He's not one to mess with.
I think we better go.
I think people are fascinated and love robots and love machines and love the whole technology of what we are able to create.
We built robots. In Terminator 1, we pretended. In Terminator 2, we went a little further. In Terminator 3, we're building robots.
You get a little bit of the history of how all the Terminators have been created. What was the first model, which we have never really seen in any of the movies, the T1.
I spent months working on the designs of these T1 robots. No matter how deeply involved you get with the details, when you see it all put together for the first time, it's incredible.
Those are really impressive. They're huge and they're very heavy.
There is no digital T1. Everything you see is a completely performing robot.
What makes Stan Winston win all those Academy Awards for Best Effect Makeup and Special Effects and all those kind of things is because he's a genius.
Hello, Arnold.
He has this mad vision.
You got more skin than I did.
Stan Winston and his studio has created a Terminator that looks exactly like me. They did several of the scenes, especially when it has to do with fire and explosions and stuff like that. I have never seen anything like this. Great abs. Each stunt to me is always an exciting new adventure.
Arnold got into incredible physical shape for this movie. That's not special effects, that's just old-fashioned working out.
I kept seeing him in my workouts and just going, okay, I can do it, I can do it.
It's all just been one sort of endless stream of running and panting and kicking and screaming for help.
3.
These actors, every night they got home and I know they just collapsed into bed.
It takes, quite a lot of endurance.
2.
I will remember the weeks that I spent hanging on a hook of a huge monster crane. It was really close calls many times.
1.
Totally surreal. Totally.
It's a different world of movie making altogether. It's amazing.
It was a lot of fun.
Everyone understands the fear of machines taking over. Machines are being smarter than human beings. This can't be happening.
So coming off of Age of Ultron, which is a sprawling giant epic, we have Ant-Man, which has that same level of thrill and that same level of Marvel-style action, but at the same time, there's a good old-fashioned heist movie.
Unless we break in and steal the Yellow Jacket, Darren Cross is going to unleash chaos upon the world.
Hank Pym sat on this technology and this suit. Hank doesn't want that in the wrong hands.
There's a large heist element, breaking into Pym Industries and stealing secrets.
What do we need? A fake security guard on the inside, somebody else to hack into the power supply, and a getaway guy.
No, not those 3 wombats.
Come in. No alarms have been triggered. He's in like the Flint.
You know that he was arrested for stealing a smoothie machine, right?
2 smoothie machines.
Oh, my Lord.
We don't have time for coddling. You have to know how to punch.
You want to show me how to punch? Show me.
That's how you punch.
Well, hey, everybody, just kick back and relax a little bit, man. We know our business.
It is a 4-man crew that Scott has reluctantly put together.
They can handle this.
Yeah, we can handle it.
You got their credentials?
He's in the system.
I'm in the system. The system?
We're doomed. These men will unleash chaos. It's time to become the Ant-Man. Are you ready?
Sure, yeah, why not?
Oh my God! Ow!
What could possibly go wrong?
This year.
When you're small, you have superhuman strength, so you need to know how to punch.
Show me how. Were you going for the hand? Heroes.
Okay, I got this.
Don't get any bigger.
Oh, that's amazing.
How'd you do that, bro?
Look at you.
Scott, this is your chance at redemption. It's not about saving our world. It's about saving theirs.
It starts with my character, Scott Lang, getting out of jail. Hank Pym arranged that I would steal the Ant-Man suit and then teach me how to use it.
I'm Hope Van Dyne, the daughter of Hank Pym, a no-nonsense, powerful woman.
She doesn't think that we need you.
We can do this ourselves.
So he's going to have to go through training to become Ant-Man.
You should be able to shrink and grow on a dime. Oh, nailed it.
Hope possesses some very impressive skills, so Scott learns from her.
You want to show me how to punch? Show me.
Were you going for the hand?
She doesn't dig him, but she feels she has to do what's right. When you're small, you have superhuman strength.
I'm getting good.
It's not bad.
You can become the hero and protect the world.
What's fun about Ant-Man is we're introducing key characters who have been in the books for years and who finally are finding their way into the cinematic universe. In the comics, Ant-Man was one of the original founders of the Avengers and one of the smartest people in the Marvel universe. That's why it really felt like it was time to find a way to make Ant-Man now.
These guys are in the business of toppling governments. To stop them, I need you to be the Ant-Man.
Oh my God!
Whoa. The suit is the mechanism that allows Ant-Man to shrink.
When you're small, you have superhuman strength.
But I can also talk to ants.
The Ant-Man puts on his ant suit, and he presses one thing. He instantaneously goes to the size of an ant, and we're in this other world.
It's not just a guy in a suit who's incredible. It's a guy in a suit and legions of ants. So there are these scenes where we mobilize armies of ants of different shapes and sizes and abilities. The most exciting part about the spectacle is all the ants and Ant-Man in action. They're amazing.
All right, guys, let's fly. Woo!
I'm getting good.
I'm getting caught.
The one thing that it does when you work on the script of a movie is it just gives you much more of an insight into all of the characters because you're thinking about their motivations, you're thinking about their storylines, how every decision your character makes affects theirs. So I think that I have a much more comprehensive understanding of the story than I did when I first signed on, when I wasn't a writer on it. When the movie starts, there's something that's happening at Pym Tech, which is Hank Pym's old company that he's been chucked out of. And it's now being run by Darren Cross, and Darren has developed his own form of Pym particle, the Cross particle. And he's developed this kind of technology and this suit on his own. He's always heard about the legend of Ant-Man, and even though he's never been told by Hank outright, he's decided to pursue it. And Hank doesn't want that in the world. He has sat on this technology and he's kept it from everyone because it doesn't even matter if it gets into the wrong hands. If it gets into anybody's hands, it's just chaos. It starts with this guy, Scott, getting out of jail because he, due to his unique skill set, was able to kind of take down a corporation and then take it a little too far. But Hank Pym has kind of singled him out. He's found out who he was and has been watching him, and sets up this scenario where I kind of have to resort to my old ways, and I wind up breaking into his house so that I can get some money to help pay some child support for my daughter, who's really the only thing I care about. It certainly has amazing action sequences, and some of the fights and things are just nuts. And then visually, there are things in this movie you've never seen before. I mean, there's some of the technology and what they're doing has never been done before. So I think that's going to be really striking. But what I hope will be the thing that really resonates with people will be, you know, what's happening with their characters and their relationships with each other. I was elated that he wanted to do the movie, and when he signed on, I was, you know, really excited. I've been able to, in my career, which hasn't really been all that long, I've been able to work with some legendary actors. I mean, like real rarefied air, and he fits in that category. So, I mean, one, I was excited to meet him. Two, I'm a fan of his. I mean, the guy is so good in so many good movies that, you know, you forget. I'd be in the middle of scenes and I'd just be like, oh my God, falling down, you know. And then the last thing was, I knew how great he was going to be in the movie. Like, imagining him in the part was really exciting. I mean, it's all really fun. There's, you know, when you just being able to get lifted up and they're not swung around, and then you fall into boxes and then you lift back up, and it's you know, it's like there's so many times during the day as you're hanging midair, you're kind of like, this is my job. This is what I'm spending the day. When you put on a costume, and certainly a costume like that, it does help with creating the character. Because you stand differently, you think differently, and especially with that, because it's like, all of a sudden everything kind of the posture changes, and I just got giddy when I first started seeing it.
You know, work alongside such, I mean, proven legends, you know, in the comic book and now the movie world. And I mean, I was eager, excited, you know, just to be a part of it. And Ant-Man is a film that I'd been tracking for quite some time. I just, it's wonderful for it to all come full circle, though. I play Dave, and Dave is in the four-man crew that Scott has, I guess, reluctantly put together. And we all have, I guess, a common meeting place where we all met in prison. Yeah, but trying to get our lives straightened out and on the right path. It's wonderful to have some guys that you can feed off of and you can toss spontaneous improvisations back and forth to. And I mean, I think that is probably one of the more exciting parts about coming to set, you know, because, you know, you have the script and, yeah, okay, we'll just do away with that. let's just do it how we feel it today. I think that's a, you know, I think that's a real key piece of getting reality on screen. I mean, Peyton is I think he man, incredibly talented, skilled, and I mean, he's extremely patient, but not slow. You know what I mean? He has a very calm spirit about himself, and I think he properly motivates the cast as well as gets the message across as of what he's looking for out of a scene, what he's trying to pull out of a scene, what
A lot of heroes have inhabited the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it really felt like it was time to find a way to do something different, to see an action scene in a totally different perspective, from a totally different point of view. And of course, that's why you make Ant-Man now, because Ant-Man shrinks, because through the power of the Pym particles that Michael Douglas's character Hank Pym invented, he is able to shrink down to a... And suddenly, any location, the inside of a briefcase, the inside of the playset in a little girl's bedroom, becomes an epic setting for an action battle, unlike any action movie we've ever made before, ever seen before. And what's exciting is there hasn't been a film in which characters shrink for many years. So the last time audiences have seen something like this, technology was very different. What we can do today is almost anything that we can imagine. Well, you know, one of the things that's so fun about working on Marvel films is you get to adapt the costumes from the comic books. And we've been doing it for many years now. And if you look at the way Iron Man looked in the early comics versus what he looks like now in the movies, or even the Hulk or Captain America or the details of his shield, we always want to take and respect the iconography from the comics because they're great, because the artistry that led to the creation of those comics is magnificent. But we need to always alter them a little bit to bring them into the real world, to bring them into the modern day. And with Ant-Man, we had a slightly different challenge, which was within our story, the Ant-Man suit is older. The Ant-Man suit is has a bit of a retro design to it because, as we learn over the course of our story, Scott Lang, our Paul Rudd character, steals this suit from the Michael Douglas character Hank Pym. And this was a suit that Hank Pym used for decades, years ago. He used this suit in the 60s and the 70s up to the 80s. So and then he put it away. He hid it away for many years. So it's an older version of this costume, and that was fun too, to be able to do things that looked incredibly heroic, that felt exactly like it was inspired from the pages of the comics, but at the same time fit into that story, and you believed that Michael Douglas was wearing this many years ago. You know, when we cast any of our heroes, the bar is very high now. There are so many amazing actors playing our characters now that whenever a new one comes into the universe, they have to be great. And they have to be great not only leading their own films and carrying their own stories, but also interacting one day with our other actors. So it really is a high bar now whenever we cast people. And to be honest, there was only one choice that we had for Scott Lang, for somebody who could play this petty criminal, who could have the intelligence in committing these crimes that you would understand why Hank Pym would want to recruit him for the heist that he's going to pull, and at the same time stay very likable and be somebody who you root for the whole time. You want him to get back together with his daughter. You want him to be able to redeem himself because he seems like a good guy at heart, even though he has these skills that are best served when he's breaking into places. And Paul Rudd has all of those things. He's got the square jaw. He's got the heroics. We knew he would pull off that suit. And he's got humor, of course, which plays into all of our films, particularly Ant-Man. And he just seems like a good guy behind those eyes, and that you're going to root for him the whole time. So we were very, very lucky when we sent him the script and we talked about the role, and he absolutely wanted to do it right away. And he's awesome. Well, we wanted to, with the role of Hank Pym, it's a role, he's an older man in our film, but he's somebody who had these adventures in the past. And we wanted somebody, we kept saying, let's cast somebody who is an older man, but who you really believe and knew could have done these adventures in the past. And we used to say, if we were making this movie in the 1970s, the 1980s, who would we have cast? We want to believe that this person was Ant-Man in the past, and yet today is a stoic, aging, heroic figure in his own right who can be the mentor to our new hero. And when Michael Douglas's name came up, we were like, this is perfect. This is perfect, because he would have been kick-ass Ant-Man back in the day, and he could still kick ass today, and yet Michael is willing to play a role, and even play a little older than he really is, because he's this dashing, unbelievable movie star still in real life, and we aged him up a bit for it. And knowing that he also has those heroics, has that noble sense about him. The backstory of Hank, where he really sort of put his life aside to protect the world from his own invention, and at the same time has a great sense of humor, because there are sequences in this film where he needs to train Scott Lang, who has essentially no business trying to become a superhero, and Hank Pym has to train him to be able to shrink and grow super fast, to be able to handle his own against the ants, which when you're looking up at a giant ant, it's a whole other experience than when you look down and see them crawling through the sidewalks. And Michael Douglas more than delivered. And he's just got such this iconic presence about him, and his voice, and his entire aura is very, very impressive. Everybody involved with making this movie knows more about ants now than they ever dreamed possible. And that was because there was just a tremendous amount of research done, because ants are amazing. Frankly, we could make 12 more of these films and still not actually explore everything that ants can do in real life. So there are 4 or 5 species of ants that we introduce in this movie, and that we see Scott and Ant-Man interact with. And it's incredible what ants can do. They're really impressive. Peyton Reed, our director, has done a tremendous amount bringing this movie out into the world. Peyton is somebody that I've known for almost 12 years, I think. We almost did a movie together a while ago. He was one of our top choices to do our last new original film, Guardians of the Galaxy. So when he agreed to take on Ant-Man, it was sort of a dream come true for us, because we'd come so close so many times. And he understood this character from the start. He understood this world. And what excited him is you'll never find a bigger fanboy than Peyton Reed.
Baltimore.
funny is the pin tech. That's knows about it, and then you coming in quickly after that long.
It's like housekeeping. It's like it's not really kept. Like that's what.
And cut it. Johnson, he just got fired.
Yeah, before we shut it.
Action!
Thank you. Wish you all, you too could be 70s.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Give me something. Give me something.
I have glasses.
Punch in the
I
stomach.
have glasses. No, that's good. Like that. That's after this, yeah. So this is before that.
Don't you worry, that's coming. Okay.
Guys, can you come in and do the
guys, do your mirror action.
So instead of frame wide.
And action. Action! That's rapping the baddest man on Ant-Man.
Very much. And we have the
Corey, man, here you go, man.
This is a picture wrap on Mr. Paul Rudd. before Paul talks, and I know he'll talk, I just want to say this experience working on this movie has been amazing, and the largest part of it has been you in the center of it, because if you don't work, the movie doesn't work. And I don't know, I'm going to speak for myself, I'm probably speak for a lot of the rest of you. If you know of all the movies and you ever have feeling like, oh, I feel like he'd be a great guy in real life, it's such a lifetime that you're actually that guy. So, thank you. That's officially it. That is the end to a wrap on Christmas photography for Airmen. Thank you all. More talented group of people. I mean, everybody is at the top of their game, everybody across the board.
It pays homage to the old one, but there's definitely little, tweaks and changes like the chest, and it's really come a long way since the old days. This is a stunt one, which is rubber. That's great. I was honored that I was offered the role again, because we see in all the other franchises what happens. If it's Batman, they switch them out every 5, 7, or 10 years. With the James Bond movies, we have seen how many James Bonds have we seen in the past, right? And how many villains have we seen in the past? So they always change. But here's Terminator, it doesn't change. I'm still the Terminator 30 years later. So that was really extraordinary.
Marker?
Hey! So you're loud. But our scars define us. Our history, our defiance is written on our skin. We fight for those who have died, for those who will die tonight.
Ready, set,
works fine on the hit, and then we come around behind, and this spin will be on the rig.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But also the crash you can speed up also.
Yeah, that's true.
They were very good. They realized what was going on there, so they made that hit.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. What's that?
Good game.
Oh, we can steal the HDR before we get the that's cheap.
Let's just get it clear back there. We're going to do the references.
Sit down, though. Let's sit down.
Okay, so have you walk forward in a way that marries. Okay, so we can still take each
I had a terrific time shooting this film because, again, it's like a combination of being the powerful machine that would destroy anything that would be in my way. But at the same time, I'm playing a protector. So it really depends on what mode I'm in and how I was programmed. So you will see a combination of things in this movie.
Come with me if you want to live. Now, soldier!
Three, two, one, action!
They're reviewing on camera right now, too.
Are they?
Yes.
Oh, bugger. Let's not do the bulls. But don't have the bulls standing by.
And it felt good.
Right, I mean, okay, so I don't, there's no need for me to say or show.
Oh, I'm not a threat.
You know.
Yeah, I'm not a threat to you either.
No,
part of it, you're going to have to hand her off to him. So I thought, not yet is, yeah, I'm not watching it yet, but I know it's coming. So I think it's a matter of way of thinking.
Yeah.
You both see it.
Not yet.
This is cooperative in driver's park.
Why bother? Anyone we can do another take because of sound.
Okay,
I hope we're not doing any more because
up and down. This controls right, left, and forward and back.
It's just have to live a step in.
JK, can I see your position when you're looking at it?
Action!
Thank you.
Arnold, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure, and as always. To me, these things are all about how do you let people sit in the theater and kick back and just be entertained and just be surprised and just really hold on to the seats and go through a roller coaster ride, just action-wise, but also an emotional roller coaster ride. To her, I become the protector to her, and then also someone that teaches her how to be tough. And so all of the training that she gets when she grows up as a child is from the Terminator.
My character is T-1000. T-1000 is strong and scary. His one and only mission is to kill Sarah Connor.
Come with me if you want to live.
The Terminator, I don't know the model.
T-1000, liquid metal.
If there's no Sarah Connor, then there's no John Connor to save the world.
T-1000 knows where we are.
Run!
You will see what happens.
I've been waiting for you.